welcome back to my channel. If you are coming back, if you are new here, then welcome. I can't tell you how weird it feels to be recording again. I recently kind of looked at my channel and I realized that it's been 2 years since I posted anything, and it doesn't seem like that long because within that 2-year span I have recorded countless times trying to put things together, and then I'd be out at the thrift store and maybe I forgot to record something, so just altogether it didn't make sense. I also just didn't have, I guess you can say, the motivation to get up and do it every day to find the content or just get myself motivated back into work. It has been a very long 2 years. Within that span, I had another baby. I was already trying to learn how to manage my business along with managing the kids. Throwing in another kid kind of threw in just another loophole where I am just trying to figure out life, as a mom of 3. I am a stay-at-home mom still, so my side business, this is just something that I do on the side, and it kept me motivated for a really long time. It was nice making the extra money that I just had to put aside, and if we needed anything, it was kind of like a little savings account that we had to just go to. So that being said, economy has just gotten worse since then. I want to get back into, video vlogging, and mostly just for me. I feel like I had very few followers, but I did have enough people reach out to me and, tell me, I got a little peeper over here, and, let me know how my videos, encouraged them and inspired them, and that just made me motivated to, I was putting information out there and I had to kind of show it for somebody, right? I had accountability in a sense of ways. So I guess that's what I'm trying to get back in this time of my life, especially being where I am. It's been a very long 5 years. I can't believe that. I literally opened up my business. Okay, I had to take care of the little one, just see what she needed. But I was saying, I literally opened up my business 5 years ago when my little girl was just born. I waited a month or two because I was working my courage up to kind of open up the store. I wanted to know as much knowledge as I could before I did so, and then I finally just opened up my store and dipped my toes in, and from there it has just kind of been a side thing. I lost my job in that process, so I was able to dwell more time into it, and I was on YouTube scoungering, for just videos on knowledge. You want to find something, it is out there. So my page is basically really in hopes to help anyone else in the meantime of also just figuring out my own journey. I think that people learn through other people's experiences. You can learn through school and you can learn, but it isn't until you actually put yourself in the experience to kind of, make your failures. That's honestly the one way that I've learned the most, because I've had to take hits on paying extra fees or doing such and such just because I made the mistake. So I think I take every mistake with gratitude, because it really is a learning experience. So in hopes that any of my videos kind of have that failure effect, then we can all learn together, because I learn through other people's mistakes, other people are going to learn through my mistakes, and so forth. So I want to create a safe space where we can kind of learn together. I can get advice from viewers, viewers can get advice from me, vice versa, Just, I want to create that community. I've seen very beautiful communities out there where you just have people that genuinely want to help and not tear down anyone. So by any means, I always feel like there is enough reselling out there in the world. There's so many opportunities. I guess I can't say, for smaller towns. I just recently moved out of town, so like now I'm about 20 minutes from town. So I'm kind of understanding that like we don't have any thrift stores out here, not at all. So it's a 20-minute drive. But you know, you make the best of what you can, and you just have your days of sourcing. The more that you go out, the more that you find things and so forth. So it's not, I try not to dwell too much on the negative parts, but just take on what I can learn from that. So that all being said, I was hoping to kind of get everything caught up as far as where I've been. And if you were following me, now you're basically caught up. I had a baby within the last year. Since that year, like since pregnancy started, I just was not having the best pregnancy, where I was always sick, nauseous, just tired. And it took a lot out of me. So with that, and then figuring out like baby stage and stuff, I just have not had the time nor motivation. And it's gotten to the point where I have just too much stuff accumulating. My mother-in-law just recently gave me like a whole haul of stuff that I need to kind of go through, and that's going to be in another video, because I did see some really fun pieces that she gave me to kind of work with. So all of that for future content, but I'm really excited to get back into basically reselling and just recording content again. So I am so glad that you guys are here on this journey. Let's just get right into it. So this video is supposed to be just kind of cleaning up the office space area, so that I can get moving on to the next area, which is going to be inventory. So yeah, before I keep rambling, let's get into our video for today. Okay, so first video back, this is going to be truly like me letting you guys into just raw, most vulnerable state. I know offices do not always look the prettiest, but my office has like, we moved into this new place and we kind of threw everything in the office, and since then I've kind of rearranged it. I've kind of like went in there, tried to like work on things. But first thing first, like the room is so trashed, I cannot even comprehend. Like I'm just a visual person, and to just see all the mess, I can't even like envision how the office is going to be productive, let alone I cannot get into the office to even like take pictures and work or anything, just because my brain is so scattered and will not let me see the vision. So today, first thing first, I'm kind of getting back into everything. I'm going to, what I did yesterday was basically map out the room, decide like where everything was going to go in the room, how it's going to be functioning, how I thought, like what can I do with this space, right? Like how do I optimize it? That being said, I basically had a blank room. I was able to put everything as to where it is, and I'm not the best drawer, so I'll show you what that looks like. It's not going to be the best, but you'll see where my envisionment went, and then how I'm going to basically rearrange that that office room. So excuse my kids, you'll most likely hear them here and there. That's just a part of the crazy, chaotic new thing that I have. I mean, if you followed me before, then you absolutely know, like, babies were running around. Now I got another one, and I got two toddlers that just go crazy. So let's get into it. We're gonna get right into the room. This is going to be the most embarrassing part, but I'm gonna be fully transparent with you guys. This is just what I'm dealing with. This is like real raw footage again, on like what my daily life looks like, and it is not aesthetic by any means at all. So no judgment here. Come along and follow my journey, because I am restarting my business back from square one basically, and if you're following along now, you can kind of see how I rebuild that and what I basically got to go off of. So let's just get right into it. All right, here's what we are working with. I know the door was open already, but here's the first part of the mess. All right, walking in. I kind of already had a setup, and then I figured it wasn't going to work out, and it wasn't until I did the drawing. So this is what it's going to look like, kind of entering in. This is all, so a lot of this is untouched inventory. Like my mother-in-law has given me a couple things. There's other things from like the storage unit that I last bought months and months ago. I can't even tell you when, at least more than 6 months ago. So a lot of it's just unorganized, unprocessed stuff that I need to work on, and that'll be in a later video, just kind of showing what I have to work with and what I can pick and choose from. So let's just kind of get into it. Here's the whole mess. I mean, I have inventory in these boxes that have already been set up. I have things like bigger items that I kind of posted and put up on like Facebook. I have shoes that need to be processed and inventoried, like taken pictures of. Gears, like the kids' whole mess of just toys that we need to go through and figure out, are they going to be sold? Are they going to go into like totes for later? I don't have any personal stuff in here other than like a couple kids' toys and things like that. Otherwise, all my totes, again, those are all totes that have just like inventory that has already been processed. The top two are going to be stuff that need to be like there's glassware and stuff, as well as down here I have glassware. But I have these shelving racks that I plan to have put on the wall, and I'm thinking of using like the shelving area for that. I'm going to end up putting like my shipping station there. I did take out my office desk, and that is downstairs. Otherwise, I had shipping products back here. That is where I was gonna post it, or like get everything situated, which I think from there I'm gonna put it to the other side. These totes that I had posted are gonna also be on this side. Woo! Because I think this is a better place for it. As you can see, I literally cannot walk around this room. It's definitely smaller than my last office room. Like the closet's totally filled up, and I had a lot of space in there just because mostly the doors weren't there. So that's becoming an issue, but I figured I might put a rack here. So we'll just end up seeing. At least you guys got to see like the start of it. I plan on honestly clearing out the room. All right, so for starters, before I can get anything started, I planned on getting everything out of this room to kind of give myself a fair shot at kind of having like a clean slate, just because when we moved in here a couple months ago, we just tossed everything that was into the office in here, and I decided I would reorganize it. Well, that has been on the back burner. Today I am ready to execute this. So by the end of today, I should have this cleaned out, if not by tomorrow. The next step after that would be to go through all my inventory and make sure, one, it's in there, and mostly to consolidate boxes, because I have, I don't know, anywhere from like 6 to 9 totes, and not all of them are even filled up. I had about 400 and something active listings, and I'm actually down to 280. I'm somewhere in the 280s. So I mean, that's at least half of my inventory. I have so much stuff to fill in. I just plan on hitting that 500 again, because I know I was well over it. I started to get down to the 400s when I really started to track it. So like we'll end up seeing where I end up getting, but I know my number was at like 280ish. I'll have to get that correct number for you, but in the meantime, like I said, I'm going to start by pulling everything out of the office and then basically starting fresh. All right, before I get started, I kind of wanted to show the envisionment. So here's basically the room setup, how I have it. Here's the door where I entered. The closet's going to be on this side, so this is not like a very accurate form because I am not the best at illustrations. So you'll just get the gist of it, and then you'll see it come to life. So, I mean, there's the door right on this side. There is the closet, which I need my whatnot section because I do plan on getting back to that. So that'll be something. I'll be able to use the closet, and then I have a rack that I'll place there. Otherwise, it's going to be My inventory, I let you know the shelves are going to be on this side as well. I do have that window, so I'm gonna do like the shipping station along with the boxes on this side, just because I've already tried out like my inventory being on this side and it didn't work out for me, just because when you go through the door, like all these totes were right here and it kind of like messed with the entranceway. So I just didn't like that. I wanted it to be on this corner. And then I'll have like shipping boxes on that corner and stuff like that. So everything kind of makes sense. I'll have a processing station here, which I'll end up putting like a table on that section. That way like I have stuff there, like it won't mess with the entrance part. But this is basically what the room is going to look like.
The first thing I got started on were these floors because, gosh, it was so dirty in there. I could not walk, as you guys saw. I even found trash on the floor, like the kids must have been eating some candy in there or something, because if you saw that wrapper, that was disgusting. Who knows how long that's been there. But this is just me getting all the toys together, all my miscellaneous little office supplies, I guess you can call, or just things that were out of their drawers. Again, just everything on the floor is all that I had to pick up. Once the floors were clean, I moved on to everything that was on the wall. So all these boxes I moved outside of the room. This was just basically inventory boxes, so stuff that was already packaged, ready to go. A lot of these were light, which is why I was doing 2 at a time. These are just ones that need to be consolidated, so I moved them out of the room only to put them back in the almost basically the same spot, but I needed to clear it out. I needed to move some stuff in that corner. That way I could get through, the rest of the stuff behind.
As I am moving boxes, I realized that everything I put in front of like this section, because I have stuff in here and outside of the room, I just realized I closed up the section for all the shipping boxes because I need to move them from there over to this wall. So from that wall to this wall, just right across. But that being said, I need to now clear out all of this to pull out all the boxes and get them rearranged. Number 2, my OCD is kicking in and part of me wants to just stop and kind of go through the inventory boxes so that I can get everything set up, but I'm telling myself everything needs to go where it just needs to go, and then tomorrow's task will be cleaning up each section. So let's get to it.
After realizing what I did, it just felt like I was doing double the work at this point. I don't know if you've noticed the outside as well. I went from working on this maybe about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and this took me all day long. I kept getting interrupted. Of course, I had to go down, get the babies at one point. Dinner happened. There was all the other stuff, my whole daily life going on, and then every moment that I had, I was kind of getting into this room and just executing what I needed to. I believe at this point the kids were even asleep, so I was able to really, get to work at this point and do some damage. So here I am just cleaning out everything that I built up in front of my shipping supplies. I really needed to get to them, like I said, to move them to the other side. So I finally reached them at this point. I am trying to consolidate boxes, so that is the reason for this portion. I was just trying to get all my boxes together. A lot of them I have like the USPS, just ones from the post office, and then I even have my express ones that I'm looking at them and I'm pretty sure I'm going to throw them out because Poshmark did away with them. Here I am. I wanted to throw them out so bad and just, make a mess, but then I didn't want to clean it up after. So there's for my silliness, but here are all the boxes. I was saying I need to do away with the express boxes as they're no longer being used with Poshmark, as you guys know. I haven't been on Whatnot, but I also heard that Whatnot is not going to use those anymore. Let me know if anyone knows about that. I need to get back on there. I will eventually, but that being said, I'll most likely need to just order more boxes from the post office, like the actual brown USPS ground ones. So that'll be in its works. But here I am just kind of finishing up this corner. Didn't take me too long, or as long as I thought it would, but it's getting done. I really needed to go to bed at this point. I'm over here messing around with the damn mannequin. I was actually just trying to be funny to get a picture for like the YouTube pin. I was like, maybe I could get something and then, screenshot it. But basically, once I moved the last box in that area, I was just trying to set up the area on what it was going to look like. So now I'm just moving everything that needs to be looked at, like pictures taken, everything that needs to be cleaned, processed. This is going to be that corner. So this is exactly what I was doing, trying to create a section of the big old pile of mess that I have. And I say mess, but this is all just my death pile of money at this point. That's just sitting. I was going through some of the boxes. So like this one, I was looking, if anyone's familiar with Toki Dog, I think it is. Don't get me if I butchered that. But my mother-in-law gave them to me. They're little keychains, and the first one she gave me looked a little different than these ones. So I'm excited to see how they do. But that box was filled with them. I did move over my shipping station just because it was already basically there. I just need to move it over just because the window makes such an awkward space. But the shipping is going to be good there. I do have a lot of mess there at this point, but it will be cleaned and it'll just be like my printer, the printer sticker paper, and right to the side of that, to like the right side of it, is where all the shipping boxes and tape and everything like that is going to be accessible. So that'll be a nice little setup. Here I am messing around again. I found some wings and I believe I put them on wrong. Then I had an idea to put them on my mannequin, but I realized very fast that the wing was not going to stay because obviously she doesn't have arms. So be it. Just cleaning up the rest of my mess. There was so much to clean and just so much inventory that's scattered throughout like bags that I need to pull out. Anytime I saw something that was like able to be sold, I just stuck it in one of these totes, and now I just have totes on totes of just things that need to be sold. I need to get to work. This was the last video I took basically for like an update video, just kind of showing like what I had gotten done. So at this point, all my inventory that needs to be processed was already in this corner. This is where it's going to be. Right now it's a big old death pile, but it'll be worked on, pictures and stuff. This is the shipping station where I let you know I was going to kind of clean up and put all that stuff there. And this last section, I was kind of just letting you guys know that I needed to have that cleaned up. The boxes were going to go to the corner, and then the rest of the stuff was going to be moved to the center. That way I could bring back in my inventory boxes. And once that was all done, I was going to pretty much be set at this point. This is the final product. I guess I don't want to say final product, but this was what I got done by the end of the night, and I was so happy. The entrance is not the cleanest. I do need to pick up a little bit of that trash and figure out where it needs to go, but I basically had all my section kind of sorted out right here, all my processing. I have my shipping station, all my shipping boxes and everything there. This section is going to be my inventory. So I did let you know I was going to consolidate boxes. That is what still needs to be done. I didn't let the OCD kick in and I left it alone. That is a task for tomorrow. All the clothes in the closet need to be put away. A lot of it was for like whatnot. I do still have the glass on the floor, but those shelves will go up within the next like day or two. I was going to say tomorrow, but we'll see. The next day or two, at least by the end of the week. The last thing I had was the 2 boxes out in the hallway. These were not business at all, so I need to figure out where they need to be stored because the office is not going to be the storage. But this was all that I got done in the first day. I was actually really, really proud of myself. And at least now I can get in and, take pictures. So until the next time, I will see you guys in the next video.